Joining us now, Attorney General Dan Rayfield of Oregon. Thank you so much for your time, sir, this morning. The president says Portland is burning. He said people living there are living in hell, and says under the Insurrection Act, he has the authority to send in the troops. I know you disagree. Tell me what's on your mind.
You know, what I would say is that when I got out of law school, I got engaged in community theater for a few months. So what I would say is the president would give me a run for my money in the rhetoric that he's using in the theater that he's trying to produce. We took real facts, not his truth social media facts, into a judge and said, hey, this is what's going on the ground in Portland. And the judge ultimately decided that there was no need for the military on the streets of our cities here in Oregon, which I think is pretty common sense for us as Americans. Using the United States military on our streets is not normal, and that's why the judge sided with us. So it's incredibly frustrating to see the Trump administration say, hey, you can't use the Oregon military. Now let's go ahead and try and use the California National Guard. Oh, wait, you can't use the California National Guard. Let's go and try and use the Texas National Guard. And I think that's why the judge ultimately got incredibly frustrated with the Trump administration.
Tell me what is happening in Portland, because I spent the weekend with some folks who used to have a home there. I've spent some time in Portland as well, but they said, we used to love downtown Portland. It was safe, it was beautiful, it was fun, it was vibrant and active. They said, we sold, we got out, we no longer feel safe, crime is rampant, the homeless situation has gotten out of control, and they say they feel like they have to look over their shoulders in areas that they used to feel comfortable in. So what does need to happen in that city to address those concerns?
Well, first thing we got to do is we got to use real facts. And so since the beginning of the year, violent crime is down 51%. These aren't numbers that anyone can make up. These are just the realities. And again, we got to use real facts. Well, the judge actually looked at the facts on the ground in Portland, vastly different than the stuff that you just talked about. And the judge found there was absolutely no need for the U.S. military. In a lot of the conversations that were going on, you had the ICE facility in downtown Portland turning down the Portland police to come get help over in recent months. So again, what we're trying to focus on is getting in front of a neutral arbiter who doesn't have a say, Republican or Democrat, and look at real facts and make a determination on those real facts, whether the president has met the requirements set forth by Congress to use the United States military, in this case, federalize the National Guard. And those are things like an invasion, a rebellion, or the inability to execute the laws of the United States. And a judge appointed by President Trump, that none of those conditions exist.
So what's next here? What happens today, tomorrow, next week?
Well, what's going on right now is that the Trump administration is trying to find workarounds to the judge's orders. We got back in front of the judge last night and got another temporary restraining order on the president because they keep trying to find these workarounds. What they're going to do at this point is appeal this order to the Ninth Circuit and try and get what we call a stay or a pause of the two, and that's two temporary restraining orders against the Trump administration. And so we'll see that unfold this week, and then we'll start adapting and moving from there. Assuming that the Ninth Circuit does not pause those orders, we'll move forward and continue to have a hearing on the merits of our case to get an ultimate pause in the president's orders.
And how about finally, and I hear what you're saying about the facts, and you've got to look at crime data, but the optics and the feeling of being unsafe in the city, how would you address that? I mean, I've been there. I didn't feel comfortable when I went to a NBA game. I mean, that was my personal feeling having walked around. How do you address that part of this argument?
Again, I mean, if you look at violent crime statistics are down 51%. I'm in Portland pretty frequently. I'm walking around, I think, and feel safe currently in present day Portland. One of the things that I think I would ask people to do is come to the city, see it for yourself. You're seeing this online trend right now, incredibly laughable. It was even made fun of on Saturday Night Live.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.